So you'll see when we begin more formally studying the Lotus Sutra, I just think there's a wonderful, the Lotus Sutra is completely incomprehensible. But in case you hadn't noticed, life is sort of that way. And there's wonderful parables and anyway, I love the Lotus Sutra is what made the whole world make sense. I mean, it's the way I always experienced the world. And it was like, whoa, there's a sutra? But for most people, it's like, what is going on? Anyway, you'll see. But there's a wonderful, at the very beginning, Buddha is, oh God, I should have written stuff down. Vulture Peak, he's on Vulture Peak. I've been to Vulture Peak. Wow. Vulture Peak is very small. And actually at this point, it's very sadly, that part of India is very crime-ridden. It's dangerous even walking up there. I have to, and it's Vulture Peak. And I mean, wonderful memories and stories. But it's so clear from the very beginning because it's too small for everything that's actually happening, which is Buddha shines light beams out of his tongue and his eyes and his ears and all these realms open up and there's all these Buddhas and Bodhisattvas that were always there, and I was just thinking, well, here it is. It's like everybody showed up. And you all have little Buddhas and Bodhisattvas dancing around in your little cells, and everybody you love and care about is here hanging onto you in one way or another. And Constance is here, and you're here, and in Canada, and Colorado, and beyond, and so go try to, and Minnesota, and so go try to, I mean, really, go try to figure any of it out, is sort of my philosophy, and then just try to be a good person. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. But really not, because one of the most joyful teachings in the Lotus Sutra is, before it was always just like, well, special people are going to get to be Buddhas. But the Buddha says, no. You're all Buddhas waking up to be Buddha. Everybody. And I'm sort of doing shorthand here. And skillful means. There's no one way of doing this. Everybody's going to do it through your own lifetime and your particular embodiment and your circumstances. Which again, we're going to, Constance and I are going to share some of the Bodhisattva and very human things that you wrote on your practice period applications. We're all doing this completely together, and you're each going to do it completely in your own way, in your own circumstances, through who you are. Anne's going to do it as Anne, and Kyle's going to do it as Kyle, and Ellis is Ellis, and Chelsea is Chelsea, and it's completely the same and different. And there are Sanghas all over the world doing this. And there are human beings who don't call themselves Buddhists, who might call themselves Muslims, or follow the Jewish tradition, or the Christian, or everybody's doing it. And even the ones who look like they're not doing it. We're just parts of me and parts of you. It's like, I'm all in for bodhisattvas, you know, and my own bodhisattva heart, till it's like, wait a minute, I just want what I want. I mean, you know, it's like, so you kind of can't get it wrong. You just keep coming back. And that's what this is we're going to encourage ourselves and each other by just sharing what you all have put forward in your intention and commitment form. So we're not going to identify people. And I think maybe what we could do is we could trade off. Maybe you could do like 5. You don't have to do exactly 5. Just do it and then pass it to me, and we'll pass it back and forth. And everything everybody says is speaking for everybody else. You know, it's like, you're going to pick up one piece of it, and you're going to pick up another, and don't worry, we got it covered. And if we don't, we'll notice that and then somebody will pick it up. Okay.
Well, I've read all of your commitment forms, and they're beautiful, very vulnerable, and so honest. I was very touched by all of them, and so thank you very much for submitting your commitment form and letting me do this. Okay, so I want to look for ways to work with my connections to both Zen and Vajrayana Buddhism practice and how to express that in daily practice. I have been deeply touched by Suzuki Roshi's comment that to exist in Big Mind is an act of faith. It is to believe that something is supporting us and supporting all of our activities, including thinking mind and emotional feelings. My intention is to explore and practice ways I might experience the love and support that is allegedly available in Big Mind.
See, somebody already picked up great doubt.
Intention to explore self-care. What does that mean? It's a confusing area for me. Intention is rebalance, to devote more time to practice and study in the middle of this busy life, and to more fully live my practice off the cushion. To resume my daily practice and attendance at Sangha, to notice what I feel when I feel discomfort physically, emotionally, spiritually, and really feel it rather than trying to fix it. I'm really interested in opening more to sadness in myself and others. To deeply delve into the Lotus Sutra, deepen my consciousness, awareness through mindful tools and practices, with particular emphasis on letting go and being aware of anger that arises within me, and working on self-care.
This is great. I think I don't, we just got another application today. I think there are about 45 people in the practice period. So we got a good team. Good Bodhisattva team. How can I not only be, but feel more giving to others, more selfless? How can I shift the focus from my needs to those of others? In all honesty, I'm pretty tired of my same old problems. Sometimes I think my inner and outer world need a better balance and alignment. So this should be part of my intent as well. To wake up singing. I want to strengthen my meditation practice and share the strength of other practitioners. I value my practice very much, and I would like to deepen it by committing more time and attention to it. I am so grateful to be part of this Sangha. My life is constantly enriched by it. Deepest love and gratitude. I intend to practice healing the whole world. Me too. I don't know what I mean by that exactly, but that's my intention. I intend to listen and sit with our Sangha, and I intend to enjoy the good fortune of studying the Lotus Sutra with our Shuso and Chris. I have been practicing with holding acceptance and hope together, I have been practicing with holding acceptance and hope together, like the in and out breaths. To really let people feel that I see them and understand, and yet hope for and dream of changes for them, that they are and are not capable of bringing about on their own. It is nothing short of a miracle to receive the greater turning and the complex web of relationships that we are entangled in and supported by. And when we catch a glimpse of it, we see it from a particular perspective that only we can truly know. I am practicing with cultivating patience and space for that, and remembering how mistakes and rough times lead to awakening. There is no shortcut. Aren't we lucky?
I enter with the intention of practicing generosity, wholeheartedly, daily, creatively, not only to give what, where, when I can, but also to investigate the nature of generosity and interdependence of all beings, and to deepen my sense of community with Sangha. My intention is to return to regular sitting practice, practicing daily with cultivating patience and compassion for myself and my big feelings. My intention is to continue to notice what is all around me from moment to moment, and to use certain activities in my day at work to drop in and take a long, cool drink. Also to make it to Tuesday Sangha in person. I need to revitalize my practice. I'm finding that I am becoming stale and need to re-energize. I plan to read instructions for the cook and the Zen environment. The intention that I bring is to study with the Sangha the Lotus Sutra, to deepen my commitment and knowledge of the Buddhist teachings, and to develop more discipline in my Zazen home practice. My personal commitment is to deepen my understanding of Buddhist perspectives, both Zen as well as Vipassana. To do this via intimate conversations with my practice partner, noticing what arises in me from those conversations.
I want to make a commitment to Zen practice and to being part of a Sangha. I want to establish a daily practice and deepen my understanding of Buddhism. My intention is to continue my vow to heal. I'm getting healthier and entering the outside world again. It's much noisier than I remembered, and my mind is busier. I want to stay grounded in Dharma. My Zazen has been fragmented, and my intention is to practice sitting in the upright posture and incorporating Dharma rituals, chanting and bowing. A question I'm bringing to practice right now is how to hold an open heart with whatever life is presenting. As I'm in relationship with others, what does it mean for the heart to stay open? And what is wise action when it wants to close up? I began sitting with what was in the Lotus Sangha in 2003. We've been doing this for a long time. The early retreats were very profound for me, and after a death of someone very dear, died at age 10, I knew what it meant to take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. That was when my practice opened much more. My personal commitment is to continue to open my heart to joy and suffering and be present in each moment. I plan to keep a journal during this time. My commitments and intentions to deepening my practice are to make an effort to be aware of my attention, to being awake and mindful in my daily life and during Sangha gatherings, to sitting at home in addition to join the Sangha sittings, and to make an effort to stay in my chair during the painful times in my writing and creative life, instead of getting up and distracting myself. I can't count, so I'm making this up. I'll do one more. I really can count, but sometimes I can't. I want to strengthen, extend, and expand my practice into all aspects of my daily life, to deepen my mindfulness practice, and to bring awareness and compassion into my aging time of life.
To deepen my practice, grow, see the world in a better light, try to understand the opinions of others with respect, look carefully at my biases, to continue to think seriously about climate change, the equal rights of all people, gun rights, be aware of my actions, be inclusive, be thoughtful, mindful, and kind, to learn and expand. Deepen my practice, participate in Sangha and study the Lotus Sutra. Daily 30-minute zazen and meet with my practice partner. It is an annual opportunity to focus on my practice with the Sangha. I have done this for many years and always find spiritual connection with the people here. To focus on zazen and not let my new life get in the way. Daily sit for 20 minutes, join in person more activities with our wonderful group. To attend in person or be with Sangha members more often. Read one Buddhist book. Meditate. Hold my feelings and behavior and others' behavior points of view with compassion. My intention is to continue to practice with the phrase, "Don't spare the Dharma assets," which is a paraphrase of the precept about generosity.
Could you read that one again? That's great.
My intention is to continue to practice with the phrase, "Don't spare the Dharma assets," which is a paraphrase of the precept about generosity. My intention is to deepen and nourish my practice and relationships with our Sangha.
Because people are talking about zazen and sitting more, and I just want to remind everyone that Debbie and Joni offer early morning sittings, and now Elizabeth too, and all that information is online. So it's way easier to sit if you have a commitment and other people to sit with. To deepen my practice, daily chanting, journaling, and self-care. Continue to sit every day. My intention is to use my Buddhist practices to explore a new relationship, a relationship based on Buddhist precepts. To commit to my own healing. I'm working on basic things like getting out of bed and staying up, exercising, eating regular meals, self-care. It's very humbling and scary. I am working on practicing with the discomfort I have in my body. Oh, I'm also starting to sew my rakusu. I'm at the beginning stage of stitch practice, and I have ideas for artwork. What brings me to this practice period is my love of practice, love of Sangha, love, exclamation point. My intention for this practice period is to continue to look at all the false perceptions, studying the mind, opening the sense doors. What is that? And death a constant companion as I witness my beloveds on their journey. Keeping my life in balance is critical as I age and continue to do the work I still feel called to be doing. I love being able to serve in a deep and profound way, a great honor and mutual blessing. My intention is to clarify my focus and direction in climate change, social justice advocacy, and interfaith collaboration. My intention and commitment for the practice period is to notice and encourage experiences of basic goodness, beauty, and joy. My intention is to make a connection with other bodhisattvas and learn more about the teachings of Buddha. I am interested in hearing and talking about using the wisdom of Zen practice in my everyday life and hear the stories from others about how the practice affects their daily life as well. I also want to experience and understand more about the Lotus Sutra. Strive for equanimity. I want to be more calm, especially in difficult situations, and strive to be more accepting of the good and bad that happens in my life. Be connected to a community of like-minded people and feel the loving, non-judgmental acceptance that I find in the Sangha. Hopefully spread calm in the world in the way I treat others as I gain wisdom in the teachings of the Buddha. Some of the recent Dharma talks have revealed a lot of underlying sadness and depression, which has always been easy to surface anyway. That is why joy is included in my intentions. But even feeling neutral is a plus. Being able to observe and move on rather than being overtaken by them. My intention is to deepen my practice, to be more aware of and grateful for the great good fortune in my life, and it's plenty. To align my life with the precepts more fully, to bring the devotional aspects of Zen more fully into my daily life, to feel more joy and dispel more gloom in practice and in life, to turn my attention more fully on those who suffer, to enter into the Lotus Sutra, and to become more a part of the Sangha. I hope the belief is that doing these things benefit all beings. And then added on, Notice and encourage experiences of basic goodness, beauty, and joy.
Deepen my practice. Practice does help me as a caregiver and a partner. Dovetails so much with my authentic movement practice and teaching. Also to be a more committed Dharma Heart Zen Sangha member. Study the precepts with more focus and diligence and commit to weekly study. Continue sewing my rakusu and having dokusan with Chris. My intention is to deepen my practice and expand Sangha ties with Dharma Heart. Desire to continue to deepen my practice, especially to wear Tathagata's teachings, to live more mindfully, practice more and more. Creating and performing rituals of daily living to awaken mindfulness and take refuge in the triple treasures. Caring for my body within the context of the collective body. I realize the essential importance of practice and feel ready to dive deeper into both the study and practice of Zen as a healing path. Tonight I feel the way is open for me and inviting me closer and deeper into the mystery, and to stay centered around the study of the Lotus Sutra and fully embrace Sangha's practices from a place of integrity and accountability toward Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha.
Just thinking, maybe there's a couple in here I don't have. If you don't hear, I know that when I've done this with Everyday Zen practice, it's funny how it's like a little, it's like, I think I wrote that. It's really sweet. So if you don't have that experience, you're already here, and it's just you're completely included. I recently had an image of myself hovering over my life, like a drone, but not fully engaged in my life, my truth. I also recall the admonition, practice as though your head was on fire. For whatever time may mean in my story, I am aging. My intention is to experience my life, actually live my life, not hover above like a drone, always getting a detached bird's eye view of my life. I bring my fragility, my hopefulness, and my commitment as intentions to listen to and live my life truly as though my head was on fire. I also commit to knitting 5 to 7 days per week as a physical practice. That'll keep you from hovering. Honestly, I am looking at some non-Buddhist practices. I am also looking at some non-Buddhist practices to see if they have insights into current events. No, I'm sorry, you can't be here. To accelerate understanding, and maybe that is just me trying to get shortcuts, but things are so urgent now. And for some reason, I'm not leaning into more conventional means of change-making political activism. Maybe I'm avoiding it, but I also wonder if I can maximize what I've got to work with by having another view, an expanded view, subject to all the same individual and collective karma forces I realize. This is a great way to end this. I've been resonating with the being of the cowardly lion. I'd like to be more lion and less cowardly. So this person may or may not know that the Buddhist teachings is the lion's roar. I think even cowardly lions. I used to work with children as a therapist, and I had lots of puppets. You know, those beautiful folklore puppets or whatever they are. And I gave a lot of them away, but one that I kept was my lion puppet. I have a lion and a dragon, all right, and I have a bear. I really love them, but yeah, the lion's roar. I mean, I know Shambhala they renamed their magazine, but it's because we're all cowardly lions. We're all human beings. We're all afraid. We want to be safe. And we also all have these great big lion roar bodhisattva hearts. So what are you going to do? We're going to do what each person here said they're going to do, each in their own way. So we're going to get up every morning, put our feet on the ground. Some of us will sit zazen with Debbie and Joni and Elizabeth. Some of us will sit in our own homes. We'll all enact in whatever way the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, you know, they're activated. They're sitting on our shoulders and in our hearts. And these intentions can grow and change, you know. It's like sometimes you're going along thinking maybe I'm doing, and mostly you're probably going to think I'm not doing what I said I was going to do. How are we doing here? Oh, we got lots of time.
Marianne's study group too.
Just a plug. If
Oh.
anybody wants to join our Thursday 5:30 to 6:30, 30 minutes sitting, 30 minutes book study. We're studying Not Always So at the moment. And you don't have to do any homework or anything. You just come and we read together and we discuss. So if you'd like that in addition, you're welcome. You have to contact me for the link though.
Anybody else have an offering?
I just want to say I'm part of this group and it's wonderful. It's a wonderful way to cultivate spiritual friendships in addition to really understanding the text as it applies to our lives.
And one of the things that the Shuso really took on and really wants to offer is the small T's. So if you're in the practice period, again, if you're not, quote, in the practice period, you're in the practice period, but there are formal things that you can, I mean, you could do any of those things, but this one is for practice period people so that we can actually, you're going to talk to your partners, please. I'll send out something with guidelines so that you can keep it structured. And then you can do whatever you want with it. But small T's, the Shuso is offering small practice period T's. If you haven't signed up, contact the Shuso. We got one now. There'll be one all Sangha practice T. And you all know we've been and we'll continue to send out different events during this period of time. Cowardly lions and scarecrows and what was the third? Tin. Oh well. And yellow brick roads. clothes and red shoes and
Toto.
Toto.
We're sure not in Kansas.
And we're sure not in Kansas anymore. And here we are in Kansas. Right in this crazy, beautiful world. And if you had any doubt before about how much support there is here, and about in whatever way your practice is expressing itself through you, whether you've been in the Sangha for a long time or you just showed up, we're all just showing up. We're all just showing up each moment, you know? So, the sun broke through the clouds. Looks really beautiful out there, in here, over there. Just take a minute, and because I just noticed, can you feel the beating of your own heart? It's the one heart of the world beating in each of our chests, bodies, hearts, minds. Don't take it for granted. So let's continue on wholeheartedly. And what amazing joy we get to do this, and that we get to do this together. And Bodhisattvas, let's roll up our sleeves and be aware of this, the beauty and the suffering of this world, and what is it, and how can we each, in ways, maybe you're going to do big things. Just take care of yourself and what's around you and each other. And just keep saying, I dedicate the merit of my practice for the healing and happiness and for the peace of the world. I mean, you can say it however you want it. But let's not ever forget that as you practice, it helps the person next to you, and as you practice, it helps the person here and here and here. And so, what great joy. So, and I feel a great joy that Constance is sitting next to me.
Feel great joy sitting next to you.
Whoa, did you hear that? There's already things majorly happening here. Okay. Oh, please speak up, Subhana. I'm sorry. Okay. Here we go. Let's all stand up. Constance and I are going to rearrange the room. Let Buddha take front and center, which was always the truth of the lion's roar in each one of our hearts. And then we'll do we'll do 3 more standing bows, put everything back, and then we'll go outside for some walking meditation in this beautiful day.